If you are new to the channel, then subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further notification. Okay students, let's welcome you to lecture 27 of this switchgear protection series. So until now we have studied different types of distance relay. So today we will be talking about some reach of the distance relay and a 3-stage protection scheme of the distance relay. So ideally, what should be the reach of my distance relay? It should be 100% of the transmission line. The line that I am protecting, it should we should set that 100% of that line. It should protect. The reach should be at 100% of that line. But in practice, it is not so possible because there are inadequacy in CTPC ratio. The whatever CTPT ratio you are using, it is not that 100% it will be correct. There will be some error in the transformation. And core saturation will be always a problem, and uncertainty and variations in line parameters. You can't predict your L and R in the transmission line, which is distributed along the line, which will be uniform in all seasons, all weather, in throughout the day, 24 hours it will be same. It will change. And the major concern is also a DC offset current in the fault current. If you see the fault current, your fault current starts from a very high value, peak value, then it settles down at a high normal AC value. So at the initial positions there is a high DC component present. The other one is the transient response of the CTPT, because CTPT is ultimately it is a transformer. The initial results will be not so accurate. So due to the presence of this DC offset in the fault current, your C2 will measure very high current in the sub-transient and the transient period of the disturbance. So once a disturbance is occurred, so during sub-transient period, the drawing I have done from, this is your sub-transient period from where it starts. It starts from a very high initial value. So this is sub-transient, then some portion is transient, then this is your final steady state fault current. Your ultimate fault current is this one. So whatever we are doing calculations with IF is this one. So initially this IF is very high. As it is very high, as this current is very high, what will happen? Your Z will get reduced. Once your Z get reduced, then the relay will overreach. Suppose you have a SIR, simple impedance relay. So you have, this is your Z set value. So if your Z reduces, that means you can what will happen if your fault current is increases, that means Z will reduce. That means this much length, whatever Z it was, it will be little less. That means it will come inside this circle. The outside point will also come inside, because you assume that Z should be this much, but as your current is very high, suppose this is a length of 100 meter, 100 kilometer. So you set it for 80 kilometer. So 100 kilometer was beyond your circle. But as fault current is very high, so the 100 kilometer impedance also become very less. So it comes inside your circle. So it becomes overreach. So your relay becomes overreach. So effective impedance reduces and the distance of the distance relay overreaches. Underreach of this relay can be acceptable in some cases. For the namesake we can accept it, but still we will not want it to be underreach. But let it be. It can be acceptable because there will be always a backup. If it is underreach also, if it is not reaching its full value, then also we will have a always a ready backup is there. But the maintaining coordination will be difficult here if it is underreaching. But overreach is certainly not acceptable, because overreach will create a major problem in your coordination exercise. Overreach of the relay is not acceptable, as it will create difficulty, because that one will be, you don't know which one will be your primary and which one will be your backup. If it is operating beyond its region also, if it is operating in other region also, then it will become a problematic. So what should be the idea? The idea is here that 3-step distance protection. That's the main idea. So if we see the idea, so the idea is 3-step distance protection. So what is 3-step distance protection? There are first step, second step. We will discuss one by one. So in the first step, what is it doing? The reach of the relay is not given the 100% of the line, but we are taking only 80 to 90% of this line, so that if it is under overreach also, it should not cross your 100% limits. So we are giving initial settings, that is your first step protection will be, suppose it is 100 kilometers, so we will set it for 80 to 90 kilometer with no intentional time delay. Means if it is fault is occurring between 80 to 90, it should trip immediately. There is no intentional time delay. In the second step, what we are doing, it will take care of the next 10 to 20% of the line. That means 100% of the line will be taken care by your taken care by it. Rest, it will also take 50% of the next adjacent shortest line. Why it is shortest, we will discuss. So what we will do, we will take the entire line and then 50% of the next line. You can think of in this way also. Suppose this is a line, we will draw it later also. So in first step you will take up to this much, 80 to 90%. Suppose this is your line, AB is a line and BC is another line. So you will take 80, this is step 1. In the step 2 what you will do, you will go this one and 50% of this one. So this is your step 2. So anything occurring in step 2, it will be a delaying of T1 time. So it will act like the backup for this bus also, and this portion also. So it will treat as a backup for some adjacent relay and adjacent next bus also. So this is the idea for second step. So it will provide backup for the next line section including the bus also. So it will give a backup. In case of maximum underreach, then second step will be able to cover the desired line section and the bus. If it is going very much underreaching, so your 80% will come to suppose 30-40%, and then 150% will come to 100%, near about 100% or 110%. Then still it is able to take care of the entire line. So what is the operating time of the step 2? It should be operating time of T1 step 1 plus STI. So it will wait whether step 1 is taking action or not. If it is in step 1, then it will take care of, because you can see there is a common area where both can operate, the first 80-90%. So it should wait. If there is a fault in between 80 to 90%, then step 1 should trip. If it is not tripping, then my step 2 will act as a backup for this section. What is STI? We have already seen. It is selected time interval, that is circuit breaker operating time plus overshoot time. So why it is 50% of the shortest line why it is not the longest line or other lines? I have taken a good example. You can see this one. Suppose there is a line A, bus AB, bus C, bus D. You can see the buses. There are so many lines are there, but I am highlighting this. Okay, these are the buses. Okay, BC line is the shortest line. There is also BD line. There is also AB line. So after AB line, which one is the shortest? BC is the shortest. So the second setting, what we have told, we will take 50% of the shortest line, entire 100% of the original line. Suppose for AB I am talking about. So now if I am writing the step 1 and step 2. So for AB, suppose I am writing. So for AB, which one is step 1? This is step 1, first step. 80 to 90% of the line AB. So here no intentional time delay. If any fault is there, it will be tripping. Next, second step, suppose I am not taking 50% of the shortest line, I am taking 50% of this line, suppose BD. Let your BD is little bit longer, so that it will be proper 50%. So this is step 2 of which relay? AB relay. But here is an intentional time delay. This will occur after T1 time. Okay. Now if you come to BC section now, so BC section, this is BC1, this is first step for BC, no intentional time delay, and it will take care of BC and the next line in the, suppose this is your C2, so this is your step 2. Can you see now? So this is your step 2 for BC. Okay, this is your step 2 for BC. Then so if there is any fault, I am taking one by one. If there is any fault here, then your AB is a primary. Forget about backup now. Now you see an interesting scenario. Suppose there is a fault between C1 and C2. Then what will happen? It will come to the second step of BC and it is also coming in the second step of AB. So both will operate. You can see if there is a fault in this section, C1 and C2. So it is coming in the step 2 also. You can see the step 2 is this much up to this length. It was step 2 of the AB. So AB will also trip. And this is also coming to the second step of BC also. So both the relay will trip. So what will happen? We will be losing selectivity. Unnecessary extra line will be tripped. So that's the idea. So any fault between C1 and C2, if there is a fault here, then this second step is also occurring and it is coming under the second step of the first relay also. Here you can see. If it is here, this is in the second step of this is also in the second step of this, from here to C1, C2 from here to here. Any fault between these two, so there will be a major problem of selectivity. There will be issue of selectivity. Now, if you see if it is in the short, if it is 50% of the shortest line, then what advantage? Now you can see this is your AB, this is BD, and this is BC. Now what you are doing, this is your step 1 for AB. What is step 2 of AB? That is step 2 of AB not going so far. It is just 50% of the next shortest line. BC is the shortest line, so 50%. So this is second step. Now what is the first step of BC? This is first step of BC. BC1. BC1 is the first step of BC. And what will be the second step? Second step will go little bit higher. BC plus 50% of the next line, but it is an intentional time delay T1. Now you can think, if there is a fault in BC2 section, your BC1 is the primary and it is coming under the second step of the RAB. So BC will be the primary, backup will be the RAB. If there is a fault between C2 and C1, if there is a fault here, then RBC step 1 will be the primary because it is coming in the step 1, and it fails, then step 2 will take care of RBC. It will not go to RAB. So there is no issue of selectivity issue is there. You can see here. So that's why the advantage is to go to the 50% of the shortest line, not the longest line in the step 2. So it is written there, fall between BC2, you can see, fall between BC2, RBC will be your primary, that is step 1. Now if there is any fall between C2 and C3 anywhere here, it should be C1 to C3, then step 2 will, it should be C1 to C3. It is C1 to C3. Between C2 to C1, what will happen? C2 to C1 is not written. C2 to C1, it will be step 1 will be your primary. Step 1 of which relay? Step 1 of BC relay will be primary. If it fails, then step 2 of BC relay will be backup. And if it is gone beyond C1, then step 2 will be primary because step 1 is up to C1 only for BC, 80 to 90%. So this you make correction. This is C1 to C3, then RBC step 2 will take care of C1 from here to here. It is not in step 1 of BC, so it is in step 2. It itself will take care as a primary. And if it is in between C2 C1, then step 1 BC will be primary and step 2 BC will be backup. So I think that's all for today. We'll continue in next class, the third step 1. If you liked the video, then press the like button and please give your valuable comments in the comment section.